So it's a beautiful day, and this nice new shelter here is keeping us nice and cool. So the guy who scheduled a grand opening for 3 o'clock on an August afternoon knew what he was doing. The land we stand on today has great history. For over 1,000 years, this land has been the home of several Native American tribes. This land has been the site of many battles and wars to seize its control. It's the home of a cemetery where brave men and women lost the fight. Gold was once found on this property. However, now that it's a park, we do have ordinances and we do not allow excavation, so no digging, please. It has been the home of remote control airplanes, and as of today, with this great historic site, we make our own history. We have now turned it into a public park where members of the community can recreate, enjoy nature, and enjoy the mighty natural resource of the Etowah River that flows through this property. As we come here today, I want to recognize a couple special guests that we have. First of all, our county commissioners are very supportive of Parks and Recreation, and we are fortunate to have 4 of them here with us today. First of all, we have District 2 Commissioner and Chairman of the Board, Mr. Alfred John. We have District 4 Commissioner, and this is her home right now, Commissioner Cindy Mills. We have District 5 Commissioner, Laura Simonson. And we have District 3 Commissioner, Mr. Todd Levin. We also have our county executive team, Mr. Tanner, who said the prayer. We have the Assistant County Manager, Mr. Brandon Kenny. And we have Assistant County Manager, Mr. David McKee. So thank y'all for being here today and all of your support. Parks and Recreation is very important to the quality of lives of citizens of Forsyth County. It takes the support of many people to sustain the quality of life that we have here. And I want to thank the county commissioners, the Forsyth County management team, the Parks and Recreation Board, and the many professional and dedicated staff that we have in our Parks and Recreation Department. And mostly the citizens of Forsyth County for investing in our parks. As we talk about Eagles Beak Park specifically, I look forward to the program today. But first I want to talk about the funding for this park, because I've stayed at this podium a lot of times for a lot of new park projects and renovation projects. And this one was funded a little bit differently than we fund the rest of them. And I'm very proud to point that out. This park was $3.1 million, and it involved 2 funding sources that aren't typical for us. First of all, we were the recipient of a 2020 Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program grant in the amount of $2.25 million. Yes, $2.25 million for a park project. That is a fund nationwide for Parks and Recreation that is just tremendous. I've never seen that paralleled in any other state. And so we are very blessed to have that program. And I'm sure we're going to learn more about that program as we move on. And so the first year of that program, we were one of the recipients of it. It actually has a scoring system, and the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship promotes passive recreation and protection of natural resources. When I looked at the scoring format of that grant, I said we had a home run with this project because it checked every box and scored to the max in every category. So we had something special here that most projects we do not cover. That grant involved a 25% match that the county was responsible for, and due to the location of this park close to the landfill, we were able to use the Landfill Host Fee Development Fund, which are funds from the landfill that need to be reinvested in our community. Once again, a perfect situation to match the grant that we had. So those 2 great sources were able to fund this park fully and give us what we have here today. Now, as far as the grants take a lot of work, not only to write the grant, but to manage the grant throughout the project and to close it out. And we had some great staff that I want to recognize today that were very prevalent in that process. First of all, our grant supervisor is Angela Johnson. Angela, wave to everybody. And when we first put this project together, we had 3 months to get a master plan done and submit this grant. And so Angela headed a committee made up of myself, Matt Pate, our natural resource manager, Tommy Bruce, our deputy director, and Commissioner Mills helped us out also. And we did a lot of work in a short amount of time to get that grant put together. So I want to thank everybody for their work on doing that. Now, once we got the grant funded and we had to get money to do this project, and we had to close the grant out. And I don't know if you've ever closed out a $2.25 million grant, but that's a heck of a lot of work. And our finance director, Miss Becky Whitmire, jumped right on that and handled that for us, and she's been wonderful along the process. So Becky, thank you for your help in this. So raise your hand. And so the grant did come from the state. It's managed by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. And we had some members that made the trek to Forsyth County today, so I want to thank them for being here and recognize them. First, we have Sohila Naji. She is the coordinator of the GOSP program. So all the questions from 2020 all the way through to the current cycle now, she handles those and deals with those. She's been a tremendous support system for us, so thank you very much for that, Sohila. We have Carl Riggs. He's a Board of Trustees member. And the Board of Trustees are the ones that select the grants, monitor it. I was down there about a month ago to make a presentation on the progress of the project. And so they're members of that board that govern the state. And then finally, I'm going to introduce a speaker that is well known to this area that's also on the Board of Trustees, Eddie Cannon. Eddie is a legend in the Parks and Recreation business in Georgia. You know, everybody knows who he is. He's locally from here. He's been the director for the city of Cumming. He's been the director of Cobb County. He's been in county management, and he tried to retire, but Parks and Recreation directors are never able to retire. So right now, he is presently the director of Parks and Recreation in Statesboro, Bullitt County, keeping them going down there at the coast. So Eddie, I would love for you to come and talk to us all about GOSP.
Thank you, Jim. You stole a few things that I was going to say, but you might have to hear them again. But thank you for the opportunity to be able to say a few words. Yes, this is my home. This is where we raised our family, and this will always be my home. Good afternoon. On behalf of Chairman DNR Commissioner Mark Williams and the entire Board of Trustees and the DNR staff of the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program, we want to congratulate Forsyth County and thank you for being a great partner in this project. Eagle Beaks Park is a special place that tells a story about the history that was made here and the beautiful open green space on the Etowah River. Citizens will enjoy this park for years to come. Eagle Beaks Park is one of 14 projects awarded grant funding from the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program in the inaugural season of 2019 and 2020 grant cycle. The Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program is to provide stewardship for state parks, state lands, wildlife management areas, local parks and trails, and protect critical conservation land. The Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program is funded by 80% of all monies received by the state from sales and use tax collected by outdoor recreation equipment. We truly appreciate the Georgia voters for making this happen. They had to vote on this, and they voted yes. They wanted to see this, and then they've been able to fund projects all across the state. It gives us something in the recreation field that truly makes a difference in communities, just like this park right here. I couldn't stand up here and not get on a personal note, so y'all gonna have to let me do that for a second. Me and my wife are proud to say this is our hometown. It is a great community that loves its parks and recreation. From Lake Lanier to award-winning systems in Forsyth County and the city of Cumming, citizens can enjoy beautiful facilities and open space across the county to enjoy their recreational activities. I'm proud of Forsyth County and its Board of Commissioners. I've been able to watch the county build a park system that serves everyone across the county. The staff has always had vision and looked towards the future. As the county has grown, so has its park system. The Board of Commissioners has made it possible to find funding to continue that great quality of life in a great park system. Thank you from the citizens of Forsyth County for being forward-thinking and giving great support to Parks and Recreation staff. Eagles Beak Park is another great addition to the legacy of the Forsyth County Parks and Recreation Department. And again, thank you for the opportunity to come and talk with you today.
All right, now I want to introduce Matt Pate. He's our Natural Resources Manager. His division will oversee this park, and he will tell you all about what's here and the construction of it.
Thank you, Jim. Normally I like to let Tommy do these, but I was told that I was going to do this one this time. This park is really special to me, so I was really honored to be able to do this. And Cindy can tell you, this has been a labor of love for a long time. Years ago, we talked about putting a canoe launch here. Working with the Trust for Public Land, trying to find space here to be able to have access to the river and the Etowah River Water Trail. That got started, and so I kind of helped spawn all those things, and then to be able to purchase this property, we had this idea, and to have the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program be able to fund it and to see this come to fruition has just been a blessing. So this has been exciting. With all big projects, there are always people behind the scene that you have to recognize, and that's my job here to do that. I'd like to recognize our engineering and designing team, Mark Bond and Keith Hightower. If you guys could stand up. These two gentlemen, formerly of Hayes and James, are now with Hussey Gay Bell. And these two gentlemen helped us design everything that you see here. We'll talk about that in just a second. But who helped us build through the Bain Development Group out of Watkinsville, Georgia, is Shannon Lucas, Project Manager. Can you stand up, please, Shannon? And David Esch, Project Superintendent. These folks were here every day. This was Dave's second home for a while. He's ready to get back to Watkinsville, I can tell you that. And then also like to recognize our construction projects manager, Miss Melody Fontana from Public Facilities. Melody, are you here? That was the grease that kept everything going right there. And then Dan Callahan, who couldn't make it today, but our Public Facilities Director, was also very instrumental in helping. And then our design team from Parks and Rec, we had Jim Pryor, Tommy Bruce, Carrie Toth, who's here. Carrie, are you here? Hey, yep. And Darren Barkley, our parks crew leader, who's taking care of the property to make sure that it looked great today, along with ACS Landscaping. So a little bit about the elements of this $3.1 million GSOP-funded project. We have a 1.7 mile asphalt loop. Great, it's starting to rain. I'm going to slide forward a little bit here. Yep. All right, so 1.7 mile loop around the exterior of the park itself. And then all total, if you add all the little extra and outlets of the ADA trail, it's a little over 2+ miles. So along with the 1.2 miles on the other side, there's a little over 3 miles of trail here now. So that's fantastic. And we've noticed they've been getting used over the last couple of weeks. So folks are really going to enjoy having a new walking trail in the northwest part of the county. We also have these 4 neat pavilions, 2 large ones here that each hold about 150 people. Plus the 2 smaller ones behind us that are out towards the edge of the field, and then the playground. Those are going to be extremely popular. We've got 2 observation decks that are located out on the river themselves. They've got some interpretive stuff there, and then we've got our 13-acre lawn green space behind us that'll be utilized for special events or for folks to just throw out a blanket or fly a kite. And then what's really important, and one of the fun things that I had working on this project, being a historian myself, having an undergraduate degree in history, Cindy really wanted to work on the Native American history of this area and talk about the cultural and natural history of what went on here. George Perkle and I were tasked with coming up with the history of this area and developing some interpretive kiosks and things that would be able to tell the story of this area from thousands of years ago up until present day. And I'd like to recognize a few people that helped work on that. George, obviously, Martha and Jimmy McConnell from the Historical Society, Dr. Jeff Bishop, who's the director of the Funk Heritage Center at Reinhardt College, and then Peter Carpenter from the Thoroughbred Design Group, who helped lay out everything, the graphics for the signs. If you get a chance, I don't know if everybody can see, but there are 3 foot by 3 foot panels that exist around the trail system. And at those panels are stories of the folks that were here thousands of years ago, within the last few hundred years, and then up to present day. I don't want to ruin the story for you because I want you to go out and do the walk. But Cindy will talk a little bit about the folks that were here and some of the things that went on. And then finally, we've got the new almost 200 spacious parking lot. It's between 196 and 197, I've been told. And then our new Frogtown High Tower themed playground. All right, and that's from Dominica Recreation Products and Game Time and CJ Brousseau. Are you here by chance? CJ, back in the back, thank you for all your work. And so that's pretty much all I have for the recreational amenities. And hopefully the rain will clear and we'll be able to go out and enjoy ourselves. Thanks, Jim.
All righty. We have a Parks and Recreation Board that is appointed from, each commissioner appoints somebody from each district of the county, and they're very beneficial to us, and we appreciate all of their help. Today is Chairman and District 4 Representative Gary Cooper, and this is his park right now, so I'm going to ask him to say a few words.
All right, thank you, Jim. Welcome, everybody. When Cindy asked me to sit on the board, what is it now, 9 years ago? It's been a while. My first official meeting, this was one of the first parks we talked about. At the time, was Tommy in here? I think we called it, it had a different code name. Eventually we had come up with the Beak name. But it's a special park to me because it's one of the first ones that I got to sit down and actually go through a master plan with the staff with. But also growing up in the area, North Forsyth, just knowing the history of this area, learning it through school, also through generations of family. It's been near and dear to my heart to see it go through each stage. So getting the grant, being able to go through all of the process as a Park and Rec board member, and seeing it come alive, it's amazing. So today is the culmination of all of that hard work from the staff and the county, and very excited to be here and see its finished product and enjoy it, because me and my family are going to while we're still around. Thanks.
Now I'd like to introduce District 4 Commissioner, Ms. Cindy Mills.
Thank you all so much for being here. When we did my fellow commissioners will remember, and some of you guys I'm sure were here too, when we did the groundbreaking the day last year, it was the hardest wind every one of us that had, you could see nobody's face because it was just hair everywhere. So I am so thankful for today. I believe that lots of things have been put in place that have been bigger than all of us, and this park is certainly one of them. I look at the heritage. As a young girl, I rode a bus all the way through here. That's how few people lived in our county, that I lived on Bannister Road, and our bus would go all the way out through Frogtown, all the way back down Wallace Tatum, because we didn't have anybody much that lived here. And so the bus had a long route, and it took a long time to get home. But this area has always been, historically, my mom graduated with Don Shadburn from high school, and Don Shadburn was our Native American history guru. He really, the books he's written that I know the Historical Society still have, and I can remember being a small child and my mom getting him to take us around, and she always loved Native American history and showing us grave sites all in this area that were, they'd be marked by rocks, but that used to be so much important history. And then I can't talk about I can't separate the folks that when we engaged with the landfill in their MOU and heard from them, and being able to use host fees with that GOSP grant is just such a blessing. I was sitting in class ACCG was doing their policy council here. And I was sitting in there, and a GOSP representative got up and was talking about the grant. Well, I knew I had voted for that. I just didn't know it was about to happen. And I came rushing back, and I said, oh my God, this is Eagles Beak. Eagles Beak is meant for this grant. It is perfect. And I'm telling you, divine intervention, because we had the plans coming forward. I mean, we were in the process. Everything had to get cranked up, and it wouldn't have happened had it not been for our staff. Angela, I mean, you and Jim and just everybody that helped on that helped pull it together, Matt. I mean, it was to be able to not take away, it would have been next to impossible to get a vote to do this park because it wasn't in any plans. I mean, it would have meant it would take away from one of our other parks. It wasn't in any plan. And to stand here and say this park got done with no money besides the solid waste fund and with the $2.25 million grant, it would have never happened had all those things, the timing, everything fell just perfectly into place. And I knew that we would score high. And I so have always felt like that this Trail of Tears and the significance of it is overlooked in history so much. And we don't look back at the people that love this land, that truly. I had somebody tell me just yesterday about Old Federal Road being a route that people paid. The Cherokee Indian got money for people to use that route. And see, I don't know the history like our historical people do, but I was amazed that Old Federal Road, I knew it's like such an old federal highway, and that it was, but the significance that our kids now can come and they can play, they can have fun, and they can learn about history is so important, because I think that in order to progress, we have to take our history with us and learn from it. And if we forget our history, then we've forgotten where we're going. And I just feel like it's so important that we have done that here. I'm so proud of it. I'm proud for the people that live in this community that feel overlooked and have felt overlooked in the past. I'm thankful that we have such a great agreement with Green for Lives here today, and they're doing so much to help this area, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that Eddie Cannon's here. Eddie Cannon and his wife and me and my ex-husband went through childbirth classes together. That's how far back I go with Eddie Cannon. So it's just a perfect day for a perfect park, and I just feel we're fortunate in our county that we do a lot of good things, and we're able to have a lot of ribbon cutting, but I don't know that there's one that we're preserving history the way we are here. And that I feel like if we can get the city to help us move back the tavern that was here, and if we can do more with the historical things, I just think this is something, it's a legacy that we leave our great-grandchildren. You know, it's a legacy that we leave that we can take into the future by bringing the past with us. So thank you all so much for being here. There's just so much you could go on and on saying about the Native Americans and what they did here and the way that they suffered, but I think that this is a happy day. I think that rain was meant as happiness coming from heaven, because it was meant that we're being fruitful, and that is fruit coming from above. And I just thank you all for being here today and for supporting our Park and Rec programs, because I think it's just critical for the quality of life in our county. Thank you so much.
One of the great blessings we have in Forsyth County is every event you go to, you always notice that there's cameras on you, there's video being taken, there's drones flying, and it's our communications team that is always there creating that legacy that we have, sharing it with our residents, sharing it on the Forsyth TV station. So communications, thank you for putting this event together and all the work you do. We also have a Parks and Recreation. We have a marketing team, marketing and community relations team within, and they are led by Lacey Richards. They have some mementos today. They have some cookies that were made for this event. So I invite all of you to go by our table and grab one of those and get some logo gear that we have. Matt McClure, our District 1 Parks and Recreation Board representative. Okay, so that brings us to the point where we get to roll out the ribbon and cut it and open this park. And so, Russell, I believe that we want to do that down here in front of the master plan sign. So I invite all dignitaries, people that were involved in this project, to come forward and let's cut the ribbon.